まもなく後半が始まりますのでご着席ください。May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? Now, the judges will enter this hall. Please stand up and welcome them with a big round of applause. Please be seated. Now, we'd like to begin the second half of today's contest. The seventh speaker is Miss Maria Yoshikawa from Fujimigaoka High School for Girls. She will deliver her speech under the title of A Small Act, A Bridge to Tomorrow. A Small Act, A Bridge to Tomorrow. Miss Yoshikawa, would you come up to the stage?
You might die tomorrow. Those words changed my life. They opened my eyes to something I have been missing. Isolation hurts. Connection heals. After moving from Singapore to Japan, I struggled with cultural differences and felt deeply disconnected. Eventually, I developed a serious mental health condition affecting both my body and mind. I was hospitalized for 6 months, all alone during COVID-19. Each day felt colder than the last. At first, I avoided everyone. I thought speaking up would make people judge me, so it felt safer to be invisible. But one nurse, Daimon-san, changed everything. She visited daily, not just to check my vitals, but to talk about music and TV. One day, she brought a thelopor and introduced me to another patient my age. I panicked, but she sat with us, helped the conversation flow, and made it okay to be seen. We laughed a little. For the first time in months, I felt human again. That moment cracked the wall I had built around myself. The hospital didn't change, but I did. Connection didn't just brighten the room, it brought life back to me. As Bream Brown reminds us, connection is why we're here. It is what gives purpose and meaning to our lives. Now, I see my childhood dream of becoming an English teacher in a new light. In the digital world, real connection is harder than ever. Many students fear judgment and stay silent. That is why I want to create a classroom where no one has to suffer in silence. A space where students nurture not only academic skills, but also emotional confidence, social courage, and a sense of belonging. Through connection and respect for diversity, we grow stronger together. Let's remember the power of a small act and take action like the nurse did for me. For example, sit next to someone who's alone at lunch. Say good morning to someone new. Compliment someone on their hard work. Ask, are you okay? And really mean it. These might sound like little things, but they are not easy. You have to notice people, care, and choose to act. They're not just gestures, but bridges to tomorrow and could change a life. If you only remember one thing from today, let it be this. Openness fosters belonging, and belonging has the power to change a life. The words, "you might die tomorrow," once filled me with fear. Now, they remind me to live with purpose, to reach out, to care, to connect. Together we can build a world where no one suffers in silence, where classrooms and communities are filled with care, courage, and connection. When we reach out today, we give tomorrow meaning. Thank you.
Now we have a 3 minutes question and answer period. Mr. Kozak, please.
Maria, thank you very much.
Thank you.
My first question is, do you think Japan has to do more in terms of mental health awareness?
Thank you for your question. I think comparing to the country that I used to live in, which was Singapore, I think in Singapore there are a lot of more diverse culture, and I think that people kind of know how to respect each other. Whereas in Japan, there are other people from other countries that live in Japan, but I think the majority of the people in Japan are Japanese. So I think that maybe we should be schools or maybe other people should teach each other more about the diverse cultures and so on.
In that way, they could learn about how other cultures learn about mental health. For example, how Canadian schools talk about and learn about mental health.
Maybe people might experience different mental issues. So I think that maybe from different cultures, there might be a different perspective of how they solve their mental health issues. So maybe if that one way doesn't work, maybe they could ask other people, or they could support each other with their different ideas of supporting their issues.
Right. Everyone's individual, and what works for one person might not work for the same person. My last question,
Yes.
does your past experience give you a greater appreciation for nurses in general?
Thank you for your question. I think yes, because at first I already knew that the job as being a nurse is a difficult task, a job for them. But seeing them actually at the hospital, seeing them work every day made me realize how much more it is more difficult because, for example, they had to be in the hospital during midnight and still be working and be awake so that they can be more alert and be alert and can help the patients whenever they need help. So I think that being actually being hospitalized and seeing the nurses do their jobs made me realize how much more difficult it is than just hearing it.
Right? You had a very powerful experience, and now you can use that very core memory to make you an excellent English teacher. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Koza. Thank you, Ms. Yoshikawa. Now it's judging time. Today's speaker is Ms. Aika Shimens from Nagata High School. She will deliver her speech under the title of Seeing Sexism from the Start. Seeing Sexism from the Start. Ms. Simmons, would you come up to the stage?
The kanji start is made of the radicals woman and kitchen, because a woman's day started in the kitchen. This is a folk legend my elementary school teacher told my class, and it has stuck with me for the next decade. Despite this legend being inaccurate, I carried its message with me. It caused me to question the roles each gender is assigned in society and how those roles are perceived in Japan. Gender roles may be biologically inevitable. However, when taken too far, it becomes gender inequality. For example, there still are some companies in Japan that don't hire as many women because they might become pregnant and take maternity leave. Gender-based job discrimination like this is how economic inequality between gender continues. The World Economic Forum annually publishes a report called the Gender Gap Index. This measures gender equality in education, business, and other categories for the 146 participating countries. Japan was ranked 118th out of 146, whereas New Zealand, which is also a small mountainous island country, was 4th. I was curious why it ranked so much higher. So I decided to do an exchange to a New Zealand high school and see for myself. In New Zealand, I interviewed teachers in the high school about the gender differences they experience in their workplace. Many of the teachers commented on how teaching has always been considered a woman's job and that those biases are continuing. This shows that even countries that are considered equal in gender still have gender roles. But this gave me a theory that the perception of women as academic and leading role models led students in New Zealand to internalize how capable both genders can be. While I was there, I also learned about Maori culture, the indigenous people's culture of New Zealand. In Maori culture, there are roles in society played by a specific gender. However, nobody perceives that one is more valuable than another. As Maori culture is being revived now after years of oppression, this mindset is coming back. In Japan, housework, which is considered a woman's job, is often looked down upon because it does not make money. But how do you put a price on running a household? How do you put a price on raising children? Not everything can be reduced to money. I came to realize that the inequality between gender in Japan does not come from having a gender role, but comes from people having the mindset of one job being more or less important than another. Something so simple, yet took me a journey across the earth to realize. To raise the value of all roles means changing an entire mindset. Is it easy? No. But it is possible. To realize this requires us to have a good understanding of present-day Japanese society and to question it. Because questioning how gender roles are perceived in Japan is what sparked my interest in gender studies, pushed me to do research, and brought me to this stage. I hope this speech will spark something within you so you can share it with others. The first step for a better society is to change the mindset of those shaping it. And that starts now. Thank you.
Now we have a 3 minutes question and answer period. Mr. Kozak, please.
Aika, thank you very much. This is going to be very difficult to limit this to 3 minutes because we could talk for a very long time about why Japan is 118th in terms of gender inequality in the world. Can you give us a short answer for that?
Sure. Well, there are many perspectives, but I think, though I don't know I'm not fully sure, but through even like in the old classical textbooks I read at school, it already states that even in the Heian period, a woman's role in society was to stay home and have a male as a guardian to them. So I feel like, of course, existing in the culture and those cultures being passed on as tradition is what's leading Japan to be unequal in gender even now.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's passed on through tradition, and therefore it's not questioned.
Yes.
Let's see here. What next? Do you know the word patriarchy?
Yes.
Can you give us a short definition of patriarchy?
Patriarchy.
Maybe you just did.
Patriarchy is when the male is very dominant in the household. So, or the whole family relies on the presence of the father or the husband's income and their level and how they're like ranking in society.
Yeah, not just the household, but like in government and in institutions in general. Yeah, absolutely. You were in New Zealand. That's so New Zealand has Maori.
Yes.
Maori is the First Nations or Aboriginal.
Mhm.
Canada also has First Nations peoples,
Yes.
and they have people called two-spirit, which means they carry both male and female ideas and genders in their bodies and in their spirits. So I think it's something Japan could probably learn from. At what age, we don't have, maybe not, at what age should we teach boys and girls about this subject?
Well,
Elementary, junior high?
I think elementary school, because that's when all our bodies are changing. And through that, it is quite easy to kind of divide girls and boys. So before we hit that stage, I think everybody should learn that all genders, though they have differences, they are all equal.
I agree 100%. One day you'll become the second woman prime minister of Japan.
It would be an honor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kozak. Thank you, Ms. Simmons. Now it's a judging time. The ninth speaker is Ms. Miyu Morita from Aichi Prefectural Handa Senior High School. She will deliver her speech under the title of Kaizen for English. Kaizen for English. Ms. Morita, would you come up to the stage?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for giving me this valuable opportunity to speak today. The aim of this speech is to encourage Japanese people who hesitate to speak English for a certain reason. As a student, I've noticed that many Japanese students excel in reading and listening skills. However, I've always been puzzled by how many students, despite being skilled in reading and listening, struggle with speaking. Shyness may play a role, but is there more to it? Japanese culture places a strong emphasis on precision and quality. When crafting a product, we strive for excellence. Take Toyota, for example. Its reputation for reliable, fuel-efficient cars has earned it a top global market share. The Toyota production system, known as Kaizen, is widely used around the world as an approach to promote continuous improvement in businesses. This brings me to a key question. Are Japanese people applying the same trail of perfection to English? And could this be holding them back from speaking English in the first place? English has about 20 vowel sounds, while Japanese has only 5. Naturally, a Japanese speaker with limited exposure to English may struggle with its unique accents. This often results in what we call katakana English. Let me share a personal story. I lived in Melbourne, the capital of Victoria, Australia, for many years. Melbourne is a multicultural society with a large population of immigrants, including Asians, like myself, as both my parents are Japanese. According to Australia's census, half of Victoria's residents were either born overseas or have at least one parent born overseas. In my local public junior high school, out of 25 classmates, only one had both parents born in Australia. Even in an English-speaking country, many immigrant families speak their native language at home and form tight-knit cultural communities. As a result, their English often carries distinct accents. In daily life, native speakers and immigrants coexist, and a variety of accented English fills conversations. Over time, everyone becomes used to understanding diverse pronunciations. This isn't unique to Australia. In English-speaking in countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and New Zealand, immigrants form a significant part of the population. American English and British English are no longer the only standards. Chinese English, Indian English, and other non-native accents are now part of the linguistic landscape. People in these countries are ready to listen and understand, no matter the accent. In fact, globally recognized English proficiency tests like Cambridge English exams and IELTS occasionally include non-native accents in their listening sections. The PT academic test explicitly states that it features non-native accents. In today's globalized world, the ability to understand diverse pronunciations is a valued skill. So, if you're self-conscious about your English accent, don't let it stop you from speaking. Even if your accent differs from a native speaker's, people in English-speaking environments will make an effort to understand you. Start with katakana English. It's okay. The key is to speak. The more you practice, the better you'll understand native pronunciation, and over time, your own accent will naturally improve. Embrace your own version of Kaizen by finding ways to refine your own accent through experience and exposure. To all Japanese people hesitant to speak English, regardless of your proficiency level, I have one message. Don't be shy, don't be afraid, just enjoy English conversation. Thank you for listening.
Now we have a 3-minute question and answer period. Mr. Kozak, please.
Miyu, thank you very much. I'm an English teacher, so my job is to correct bad pronunciation. Having said that, one of my new coworkers is from Jamaica, and the other Japanese teachers didn't realize that the main language of Jamaica was English. So it was very interesting. Do you think having more exposure to those accents is a good idea when you're learning English?
Well, I guess it is important because, well, our world is getting globally connected with other countries, and like in Japan, many people from overseas are coming in, and when they start by learning their own native language, and then they learn the second language, which may be English, they might have this distinct accent. So when speaking to a foreigner, they may not have the native pronunciation. So I think it's important to take in those accents as well.
Excellent. That goes along right with your thesis that we should be exposed to different accents. With Google Translate and ChatGPT, is it pronunciation really important anyway?
Google Translate and ChatGPT. Well, I'm not too sure how those AI or technological things work, but I don't think they are more of a speaking thing. They're more of showing the translations by words. So, what was the question again? Sorry.
Because with ChatGPT in voice mode, you can hear that person speak English. And so do you think that would be a good tool to use for someone learning English? It's something to think about.
Yes.
Let's see here. Do you think you should listen to recordings of English speeches to improve your pronunciation?
Yes. Listening to English pronunciations and improving your own, yes, speaking is important. And also, not just listening, but also speaking it with it is important.
Yeah. As someone from a music background, listening comes first. When you listen to the proper pronunciation, then you can recreate it. And your pronunciation is wonderful, by the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kozak. Thank you, Ms. Morita. Now it's the judging time. The 10th speaker is Ms. Mana Kunieda from Kobe College Senior High School. She will deliver a speech under the title of Realize It Now. Realize It Now. Ms. Kunieda, would you come up to the stage?
Thank you, Master of Ceremony and the distinguished judges. Can you think of anything right now that you take for granted? I have experienced my normal life turning abnormal. I was diagnosed with an incurable sickness. One day, I suddenly had to start limiting the amount and kinds of food I ate, going to the hospital once every 2 months, taking a lot of medicine, and giving myself injections. It was so sudden that I didn't take it too seriously at the time. But after a few months living like this, I gradually began to feel upset. I was overwhelmed by the medicine's side effects, the fear of giving myself injections, and the frustration of not being able to eat what I liked when I liked. I felt frustrated and anxious, wondering why I was the only one who did not get to live the life that everyone else has. Doing something even as simple as being able to eat as much as I wanted, when I wanted, and whenever I wanted. However, this way of thinking changed when I came across a certain book, Life Without Limits by Nick Vujicic. He was born without limbs. He faced many hardships, but through many experiences, he has gained a positive way of thinking. What's amazing about him is his positivity. He even jokes about his own body. Even though he has no limbs, he is extremely grateful for what he has now. He believes that by focusing on what he has rather than what he doesn't have, and know what he can do, not what he can't do, he can forge his own path in life. There is no cure for my illness, and my lifestyle filled with abnormal things still continues. However, instead of seeing what I can't do, I started to focus on the things I can do. I wouldn't have noticed this before without the support of the people around me. For example, I live about 2 hours away from my school. While I am commuting to school, I sometimes feel sick and I'm not sure if I can make it to school. My doctor knows how much I like my school and gave me some medicine to help me through my commute. He also arranged his schedule to make time to see me so I don't have to miss school. My friends and family also find a way to support me so that I can go to school, just like everyone else. Thanks to the support of the people around me, I discovered that there are many things I can do now that I take for granted. Although my illness limits me, I can still do a lot, and I have an unlimited amount of potential in my life. My story could become anyone's. You could also lose things that you take for granted. And actually, you already might have. To give a specific example, in the time of COVID-19, maybe you realized the importance of health or the joy of meeting with friends face to face. Before COVID-19, this was normal, but thanks to COVID-19, we learned how precious these simple things are. Our daily lives are filled with blessings. We just need to realize them. Think again. What do you take for granted? Now, how can you be grateful for your blessings? Today, I want to give you a challenge. Be thankful for what you can do now. Focus on what you have, not what you don't. There may come a time when what you take for granted will no longer be possible. Thank you.
Now we have a 3 minutes question and answer period. Mr. Kozak, please.
Mana, thank you very much. I think it was it Zephyr? He was talking about Thanksgiving earlier, and that's what that day is for. Whether it's in Canada or in America, we celebrate the harvest. All this food's on the table, and we say thank you, Mom, for cooking it,
Yes.
and we get to enjoy it, and it lasts for a bunch of days, and there's no Thanksgiving in Japan, but there's cherry blossoms.
Yes.
Do you think there's like an association there between cherry blossoms and Thanksgiving and appreciation?
Yes, I think so. Both of them are so them eat whatever you want, and that's the blessings you already have. You can eat whatever you wanted, and you can drink, and you can also with people who love and who cares about you so much, and that is the thing I want everyone to realize it now.
Right. And you talked about COVID-19, and up until like 2017, 2018, 2019, we go to the park, we'd enjoy everything, food with our friends, and then in 2020 we didn't. We couldn't do that because of COVID-19. But we had those times to appreciate that, to think about maybe this can't be possible. So let's see here. The other question was, do you sometimes get angry at normal people for not appreciating what they already have?
Yes, I always get angry that people who take normal life for granted. I want to say them, don't wait until you lose something to realize its value. You have to see what you can do now and what you have. Like, you can see the blue sky, and you can go to school, and you can work, and you have a healthy body. And yes, I want everyone to realize how important It is.
If I was in your position, I'd be very angry all the time. People should really appreciate what they have every day. I remember I had to go and pick up something in Azerbaijan. It's a very fancy place in Tokyo, and I walked by the house. It was a huge mansion, like a real mansion, and the guy said, "That guy's always angry. He's never happy." So it reminds me of happiness. Thank you for your gift of happiness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kozak. Thank you, Ms. Kunieta. Now is the judging time. The 11th speaker is Ms. Mario Daniel from Dalton Tokyo Senior High School. She will deliver her speech under the title of #Flawfection, Embracing the Value of Imperfection. #Flawfection, Embracing the Value of Imperfection. Ms. O'Daniel, would you come up to the stage?
How many of you have tried to look perfect on Instagram? After taking many pictures from different angles and lighting, we sometimes manage to post the perfect snap. #I'm the cool kid. One Saturday, as I was scrolling through my Instagram feed, I saw a picture of my friend on the beautiful beach. She was smiling, holding a colorful frozen drink with a cherry on top. It looked like my friend was having the perfect weekend. Instantly, I was jealous. Let's pause and think. How often do we get caught up in comparing ourselves to others' seemingly perfect lives? What does perfection mean to us? Is it about having a weekend on a beautiful beach? A slender body? remarkable talents in sports, straight A's, or lots of money? Who defines these standards of perfection? In the Cambridge Dictionary, the word perfection is the state of being complete and correct in every way. Wow! Correct in every way? As a teenager, I believed seeking perfection was the right thing to do. I tried to be perfect, measuring everything: grades, friendships, even how I looked on social media. But the more I tasted, the more I saw my flaws. Life shrank to black or white, good or bad, success or failure, with no space in between. I kept reaching for an invisible bar and judged myself before anyone else. My self-esteem shattered. And in this, I was not alone. In Japan, many young people grow up feeling they must be perfect. Studies have shown that this constant pressure is linked to depression, isolation, and sometimes even worse. But how are these standards of perfection established in us? Are they shaped by societal expectations? Or are they self-imposed, influenced by what we see and hear? This led me to question, am I measuring my worth by standards set by things that don't truly understand or know me? Recently, my mom made a new hobby. It is to take pictures of the bento she makes for me every morning. She often complains that there's nothing in the fridge, but still manages to make something. When she finishes making my bento, she takes a picture of it and says, "It's not perfect, but good enough," and posts it on her Instagram page. Hashtag bento with leftovers, smiley emoji. If you find her bento on her Instagram page, it may not look perfect. She does not put octopus-shaped sausages or heart-shaped sweet eggs in my bento. But did it make her happy? Yes. Did it make me happy? Absolutely. The bento was imperfectly perfect. This experience taught me that perfection isn't the same for everyone. It's something personal. It's a picture we create in our minds, influenced by what we see around us and how we feel inside. If we don't match that picture, it doesn't mean we've failed. Today, you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. This is a quote from one of my favorite Dr. Seuss books. It reminds me that being perfect should not be anyone's goal. The goal is to be myself. So, as I stand here today, I want to leave you with this thought. Even if we aren't perfect, our flaws make us unique, real, and human. The definition of perfection isn't set by others. It comes from within us. This simple truth, that's who you are. I'm proud to find myself imperfectly perfect, just like my mom's bento on her Instagram. Let's celebrate our perfectly imperfect selves. Hashtag, thank you very much.
Now we have a 3 minutes question and answer period. Mr. Kozak, please.
Mari, thank you very much. Your very first question was, how many of you have tried to look perfect on Instagram? For me, never. Never. I don't. But I do watch TikTok. TikTok's different though. Instagram, you're constantly bombarded by pictures and images, and it's creating a mental health crisis in teenage girls. Do you think there should be a legal limit on how much Instagram should be allowed by teenagers in Japan?
I think so. For example, in the States, recently it's been limited from 16 years old and older to use Instagram. And I think it's really important because for me, especially when I was in junior high school, when I was in junior high, I tend to focus on what people look like in Instagram, and I tend to focus on only on the sides that was shown on Instagram. And But when I became like a senior high school student, I felt more confident about myself, and I felt okay to have flaws or make mistakes because I started to see that everyone else also has those flaws and everybody else also makes mistakes. So I think it's good to make a limit until the age they start to realize that it's okay to be themselves. So maybe like 16, like the States, so that would be a good limit to have.
Because I'm old, I don't know what Instagram is. Are there filters on Instagram?
So recently there was a filter added. So you have to have a parent. If you're under 18, you have to have a parent to allow you to use Instagram more than an hour a day. So.
Okay. And what is the filters to create a more perfect version of you, right?
Yeah. So no, like you mean by like a.
Like an image filter.
Oh, okay. So I thought about
Not a
okay.
time filter.
So yeah, there's filters. For example, they make your eyes look bigger or you make your face look smaller, so that you match the like standards of perfection that everybody thinks. So there's a filter for it.
It's not even, you're not even measuring the standard against that. It's a completely made up standard.
Yeah.
Okay, well do you think that's dangerous to teenage girls?
Definitely. I think it's not just girls, even the boys. They try to look perfect, like with flawless skin or big eyes, really long eyelashes or small face, and those standards are set by things like celebrities or maybe an idol, and tend to only see the parts that they show, and we don't tend to focus on the things that they don't show, which is like the bad side or what they don't have and their flaws. So it sets standards, so that it sets really dangerous standards for us to try to fit in those standards instead of being who we are.
I wish we had more time. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Excellent.
very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kozak. Thank you, Ms. O'Daniel. Now is your judging time. The 11th speaker is Ms. Yukino Suzuki from Fujimigaoka High School for Girls. She will deliver her speech under the title of Breaking the Cycle of Bullying. Breaking the Cycle of Bullying. Ms. Suzuki, would you come up to the stage?
Had someone been kind to you today? As you recall what that person said, I'll share some facts that might surprise you. In 2020, 83% of schools in Japan reported incidents of bullying. Globally, 1 in 3 young people experience bullying. Bullying is a serious issue. So, what does this have to do with my first question? Let's find out. Hi, I'm Yukino, a typical Japanese student, but today I'm speaking not only as a student, but as someone who's been on both sides of bullying. Yet, I've been bullied, and I bullied others. When I was 5, I moved to America due to my dad's job. At the time, I could barely speak Japanese, let alone English. At first, everyone was kind to me, and I was happy. But a Japanese boy at school, annoyed that he wasn't the only Japanese kid anymore, started bullying me with his friends. They mocked my English. They even used violence. I hated school, but skipping wasn't an option. Luckily, I had friends. We fought back, and soon our fights evolved into boys versus girls wars. violence became normal, even though I knew it was wrong. When I was 10, I returned to Japan and entered a class for students who had lived abroad. Now remember, I had lived in America for 5 years. Could I speak English? Yes. Japanese? No. In school, I became best friends with an English fluent speaker. Her non-fluent friend was left out. She was hurt and angry. And just like that, I was back to being bullied again. Wow. In school, soon, her target shifted to another boy. But I didn't defend the boy. I even helped her since I didn't want to be bullied anymore. Then the girl moved away and I was blamed for the situation. I was shocked. Everyone had bullied him, yet only I was the one who took the blame. I was scorned for what felt like decades, but honestly, I deserved it. I apologized, but the damage had already been done. I'm not Doraemon. I don't have a time machine to erase what I did, but I can take responsibility and I can speak up now so others don't repeat my mistakes. Bullying doesn't just hurt people momentarily. It changes who we become. I learned the hard way that mental damage can turn anyone into a bully, even someone who was once a victim. We cannot let this bad cycle control us. Each of us, every single one of you, has the power to choose a better way, to speak up when you see something wrong, and to build a space where everyone feels welcome. But maybe bullying doesn't just happen from a lack of kindness. Maybe it begins with fear. Fear of losing something precious. The boy feared a Japanese trespasser. The girl feared losing her friend. And I let my pain turn into anger. We all acted out of fear, not kindness. We cannot, sorry. So let me ask you a new question. Have you been kind to someone and yourself today? If your answer is no, maybe you can start today. Thank you. And I truly hope you will pass this kindness on.
Now we have a 3-minute question and answer period. Mr. Kozak, please.
Yukino, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You were on both sides of bullying. That's a powerful story. Do you think there are enough consequences for people caught being a bully?
Personally, I don't really think so. As me, who's been on both sides, I suffered a lot on the victim side. And when I was little, if I had the chance, I would have probably done whatever I can to do the same thing to the boy that did that to me, that bullied me. But when I was a bully when I was a bully, all I got was getting scorned by my teachers and my parents and every adult you can think of. And so just getting scolded doesn't fix the mental damages that a victim received from a bully. So yeah, my answer would be no, there aren't enough consequences.
if you could meet that person that you bullied before, what would you say to them?
Right now, I've grown up, so I would say I can't, well, I would try to forgive them. Like, I have to be in that situation to know, but I would do my best to forgive them and treat them with kindness and teach them well, if they're not kind yet, I would teach them kindness.
That's excellent. That's a great answer. Be aware that bullying is not just a childhood issue. It also occurs in the workplace in the future. But your experience will help you to make wherever you go a more kind place. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kozats. Thank you, Ms. Suzuki. Now is your judging time. Now, all participants have finished delivering speeches. The judges will leave this hall to decide the winners. Please stand up and give them warm applause. Please be seated. Now we have another intermission for 60 minutes. After the intermission, we like to begin the closing ceremony from 4:50 p.m. So please be seated by 4:45. Thank you. 日本語で失礼いたします。これより60分間の休憩です。4時50分から閉会式を始めますので、5分前の4時45分にはご着席ください。ありがとうございました。